In the Sengoku period of feudal Japan, many warlords from different clans fight in an endless struggle for power and unification of Japan. Takeda Shingen sends the hot-blooded Sanada Yukimura across the mountain pass to attack Asugi Kenshin at night. However, Yukimura instead encounters the fierce one-eyed dragon of Oshu, Date Masamune, who's also after Kenshin. A rivalry starts when Masamune and Yukimura engage in an intense fight until Saraobi Sasuke intervenes. Masamune and Yukimura return to their respective camps and withdraw from battle. The next day, when Shingen sets out to attack Amegawa Yoshimoto, Yukimura comes across Masamune in the battlefield, following him in pursuit. Masamune wants to defeat Yoshimoto, but Yukimura intervenes on him before that happens, fighting each other to decide who will capture Yoshimoto. Meanwhile, Shingen charges at Hojo Ujimasa, trying to get him to surrender after Ujimasa attacks Shingen's army. However, Ujimasa sends Fuma Kotaro to distract and stall Shingen. When Kotaro is defeated, Shingen then easily takes out Ujimasa. During their fight, Masamune and Yukimura find out that Yoshimoto has escaped from the battlefield using 2 other decoys. However, all 3 are each attacked by operatives under the Demon King of Owari, Oda Nobunaga. Masamune and Yukimura then witness Nobunaga shoot the real Yoshimoto. A carefree, wandering fellow named Maeda Kiji visits Kenshin, primarily discussing about forming an alliance in order to defeat Nobunaga. He then visits Masamune, who is not happy to meet him. Kiji tries to convince Masamune to form an alliance as well, but Masamune declines the request and wants to take on Nobunaga alone. As a result, Masamune ends up fighting Kiji, who tries to explain that forming an alliance against Nobunaga will give Japan peace and create a world of happiness. Nonetheless, Masamune manages to defeat Kiji. Still determined to stop Nobunaga, Masamune sets out to face the Oda clan head-on. Azai Nagamasa hears word of what misdeeds Nobunaga, revealed to be his brother-in-law, is bringing across the country. Although he does not want to accept this fact, Nagamasa sets out to prevent Nobunaga from attacking his ally, the Asakura clan. Meanwhile, Kasuga visits Shingen, who plans to gather neighboring clans to support Kiji's cause to defeat the Oda clan. However, when Kasuga takes leave, Sasuke reports to Shingen his failure in persuading both the Azai and Tokugawa clans in forming an alliance with the Takeda clan. Meanwhile, Nobunaga says that he will not annihilate the Asakura clan, but instead Nagamasa must agree to annihilate them instead, lest his wife, Oichi, will suffer death. Akechi Mitsuhide warns Nagamasa that Masamune is planning to attack Nobunaga alone, so Nagamasa must prevent that from happening. The Takeda and Asugi clans ally themselves and prepare for their attack on the Oda clan as well. Shingen tries to persuade Tokugawa Ieyasu into joining his side, but the latter stands firm in allying with Nobunaga. As the Tokugawa clan advances on the Takeda and Asugi clans, it seems that the Tokugawa clan is at a disadvantage. That is until Ieyasu summons his greatest general Honda Tadakatsu, a giant, mechanized robot wielding a large drill as a weapon, to quickly turn the tide of the battle. Yukimura, Sasuke, and Shingen do their best to fight Tadakatsu all at once. Elsewhere, Nagamasa intercepts Masamune to stop him from getting to Nobunaga. Kenshin catches up to Kiji and realizes his plan all along to ally the other leaders to confront Nobunaga by himself. Meanwhile, when Nobunaga leaves, Mitsuhide allows Oichi to see Nagamasa on the battlefield. However, this was a distraction for Mitsuhide to shoot Nagamasa point blank. As Nagamasa is dying in Oichi's arms, Mitsuhide reveals that Oichi's objective was to seduce the Azai clan to weaken their military power, but because she fell in love with Nagamasa, she was unable to accomplish any of her given orders. Nagamasa, before dying, forgives Oichi for her deception. With Nagamasa now dead, a furious Masamune, against the advice of Katakura Kojiro, starts a battle with Mitsuhide. Ieyasu calls out a retreat because Nobunaga has betrayed him. Nohime, revealed to be Nobunaga's wife, appears and sets her sights on Tadakatsu, killing him with an underground bomb. Masamune also decides to retreat to avoid being annihilated by Mitsuhide's firearms. After the death of Tadakatsu, Ieyasu agrees to join the alliance against Nobunaga. Yukimura offers Masamune to stay at Kai instead of going all the way back to Oshu. Kojiro, surprised that Masamune was injured during the gun volley, gives treatment for his wounds. After a teasing, Sasuke warns an annoyed Kasuga not to stray away from Asugi. Sasuke leaves to investigate a nearby explosion. Kojiro tells Yukimura of his regrets of what happened to Masamune when Mitsuhide attacked him. Sasuke then arrives to report that some of Masamune's retainers were taken hostage by a shrewd man named Hisahide Matsunaga, who demands to possess Masamune's 6 Dragon Claw swords and Takeda's shieldless armor in exchange for their lives. While Kojiro suggests to sacrifice the retainers and ignore this threat, Masamune, who just woke up and heard everything, wants to save his retainers instead. Kojiro challenges Masamune to a battle, already knowing he is in no condition to fight, yet the latter accepts. Kojiro ends the bout by promptly knocking him out after hitting him square on his wounds. Even so, Kojiro decides to bring back the retainers safely in honor of Masamune's wish. Takeda questions why Yukimura would let Kojiro go alone, and after making Yukimura to see the error of his ways, Takeda orders him to aid the rescue and bring the armor back for sure. When Kojiro arrives at Tadaiji, the Miyoshi Death Squad blocks his path, using a special incense which works as slow-acting poison. With his strength reduced, Kojiro has a hard time fending off his enemies, but he overcomes with quick thinking, skill, and sheer willpower. At a temple ruin nearby, Kojiro is met by Hisahide, who is shocked that he brought Masamune's 6 swords to save Masamune's retainers. Kojiro hands over the 6 swords while challenging Hisahide to a duel, but the latter refuses. Yukimura soon arrives and hands over the shieldless armor, using this as a distraction for Sasuke to sneak past and attempt to free the retainers. However, Hisahide destroys the temple ruins before letting that happen. Meanwhile, in Kai, Masamune awakens to see Takeda, who speculates that Hisahide may be working under Oda but uncertain as to why that may be. As an enraged Kojiro still has the strength to fight, despite being weakened by the poisoned incense, Hisahide dispatches his bomb squad. Yukimura tries to help fight them off, but to no avail. After Sasuke fumigates the incense, Kojiro manages to land a fatal hit on Hisahide. In dishonor of himself, Hisahide blows himself up. Kojiro is relieved to find that the retainers somehow survived the earlier explosion. Oda's advance is from Kyushu to the north, killing Yoshihiro Shimazu among other forces along the way. Masamune and Kojiro are on equal terms now, while Takeda gifts Yukimura with a new spear. Sasuke soon informs that Tokugawa was assassinated by Mitsuhide, which means that Oda's vassals will soon be approaching them. Meanwhile, Asugi and Kasuga are interrupted by a female shinobi claiming to be working under Sasuke. However, after the shinobi shoots at Asugi, he quickly realizes that she is Nohime, sent to kill him as she reveals herself. When Kasuga attempts to shield him, he moves her aside and takes bullets into his body shot by Nohime. Back in Kai, a thunderstorm is causing the dike to break due to an overflow of the river. When Takeda starts to repair the dike, Mitsuhide shows up during this time, being sent to kill Takeda. Mitsuhide destroys the dike, causing water to spew and flood the area. Mitsuhide jabs Takeda with his scythe, causing the latter to fall into the river. Masamune and Kojiro, both infuriated, attack Mitsuhide, but they are dismayed when he gets away. After Kasuga tells Sasuke that she deeply blames herself for letting Asugi get wounded, she then makes up her mind to assassinate Oda by herself. Sasuke, first disagreeing with her decision, relents and hands her a small wooden whistle in case of emergency. Yukimura, washed up ashore, is distressed when he is unable to save Takeda. In Oari, Mitsuhide proposes to Oda a plan to wipe out the remaining factions by allocating an army under his command. After settling and comatose Takeda in the room of the shieldless armor, Masamune and Kojiro discuss with Sasuke their next move against Oda. However, after Kojiro figures out how the brutal Mitsuhide would advance his army, Masamune sees this as an opportunity to attack Oda straight on. On the other hand, Yukimura is still in shock, both confused and afraid. On his way out alone, Masamune disbands his army, which surprises Yukimura. After Kojiro explains why Masamune has chosen this course of action, this encourages Yukimura to realize his reason to fight. Yukimura and Masamune ride out to find the enemy at Honnouji. In Honnouji, Mitsuhide's ulterior motive was to betray Oda and have his soldiers to be defeated. In Kai, Kojiro gathers up all of the previously fallen factions in an attempt to support Yukimura and Masamune in battle to stop Oda once and for all. When the two make it to Honnouji, Yukimura and Masamune are surprised that Oda is nowhere to be found past the gates. This was actually a trap set by Noheim to lure Mitsuhide's soldiers to their deaths. Inside the temple, Mitsuhide attacks Yukimura and Masamune, setting the building on fire. At Azuchi Castle, Oichi is compelled by Noheim to kill Kasuga, who has been captured. However, Kasuga frees herself and escapes, taking Oichi with her. After parting ways, Kasuga blows her whistle, transforming it into a hang glider to evade the area when met by ninjas. Ranmaru Mori shows up to aid Mitsuhide, only to be easily defeated by Masamune. After Kojiro intervenes to tell Yukimura and Masamune to go to Azuchi Castle, he volunteers to fight Mitsuhide in their place. Facing Noheim one more time, Oichi wishes to see her brother again. After Noheim disallows her request, Noheim fires her gun at Oichi. While Yukimura and Masamune lead the factions toward Azuchi Castle, Kojiro continues his battle against Mitsuhide inside the burning temple. Although Mitsuhide uses Ranmaru as collateral, Kojiro manages to defeat him, leaving Mitsuhide to suffer death in flames and allowing Ranmaru to live on freely. Inside the castle, when Noheim prepares to shoot Oichi, the latter unwittingly neutralizes Noheim with her dark powers. When Yukimura and Masamune reach the gates to the castle, their allies Motonari Mori and Motokiga Chosakabe arrive on their ships and destroy the castle walls. Oichi, having an uneasy resolve to kill Oda, is mercilessly shot by him for her hesitation, just as Yukimura and Masamune finally make it to the castle to attack Oda. As Oda smites Masamune to the point of crucial pain and injury, Tadakatsu flies in to face Oda alone, but ends up being killed as well. Yukimura and Masamune face Oda one last time and attack with every ounce of their power, successfully defeating him and demolishing the castle. After the battle, each clan returns to their original state of battling against each other. And that's it for this video, guys. If you want me to recap part 2 of this series, don't forget to comment down below. Also smash that subscribe button for more future videos. See you guys next time.